Last overall in runs scored in all of the major leagues. So they've revamped. Of course, they always have the good pitching, outstanding bullpen last year too, but it's all about adding names right now. Many people are calling it a collection of talent. Matt Kemp, Justin Upton, Will Myers, and of course the latest addition, a solid guy on the mound in James Shields. There's a lot of attitude. There's a lot of swagger. They know that with the bats, they can complement and challenge over there in the NL West.
Well, as it turns out today, you mentioned those four. We're not going to see any of those four. They've kind of brought a squad here, number of reserve players today.
Well, that's important, too, to make sure guys like a Venable, who doesn't know where he's going to be playing, maybe can be exposed to other ball clubs. Carlos Quentin doesn't know where he's going to be playing. But, Terry, overall, you got to take advantage of these situations. And the Padres know that all these guys that they added, they still need a lot of depth. That's very important, especially in the National League.
Angels have some of their top-notch players not in the lineup. We had a fun day here yesterday in Tempe, and we're going to share it with you once again.
Stadium in the Phoenix area, the Valley of the Sun. Angels, baseball Angels against the Padres. Angels come in with a 4-4 record. The Padres have a 4-5 record. So glad you could join us, Jose Mota and Terry Smith, in our simulcast. And certainly it should be a fun one here with good friends Mike Scioscia and Buddy Black matching up here again in spring training. And lineups for Buddy Black entering his 9th season as a Padre manager. He's got Cameron Maybin, veteran, playing in center field. Alexi Amarista, a favorite of mine, a shortstop, batting second. Batting third is Will Venable in right field. Tommy Medica, powerful bat from the right side, is at first base, batting fourth. Yangervis Solarte, who at this point last year was the talk of the Yankee camp, traded eventually last season to the Padres. Solarte is at second base, batting fifth. Jake Goldberg is a designated hitter. He was batting sixth. Alex Dickerson makes a start in left field, batting seventh. Corey Spangenberg at third base will bat eighth. And behind the plate for the Padres and batting ninth is Austin Hedges. On the mound for San Diego, steady Tyson Ross. The Angels starting lineup is brought to you by McDonald's. It's the perfect meeting of beef and cheese. McDonald's new triple cheeseburger, loaded with 3 100% pure beef patties and real American cheese. It's everything you love and more of it. Now available for just $2.49. Mike Scioscia's Angels with Colin Cowgill leading off in center. Batting second in right field is Efrain Navarro. Batting third is Matt Joyce. Glad to see him back after the tight hamstring affected him last year. He was a late scratch. Joyce is a designated hitter. Batting fourth is C.J. Cron, continuing on a very solid spring. He's at first base. Chris Iannetta is the Angels catcher, batting fifth. Josh Rutledge will see some reps today at shortstop, and he's batting sixth. Grant Green at third base. That's where Mike Scioscia wants to take a good look at him. Green at third base, batting seventh. Mark Krause makes a start in left field, batting eighth. And youngster Alex Yarbrough is batting ninth for the Angels. Playing second base on the mound for the Halos, of course, Matt Shoemaker. The beard is there. 16-game winner last year. Second in the voting for the American League Rookie of the Year. And Terry, before I pass it on to you, certainly the newest addition for the Angels is here, and he just arrived today from Miami, and his name is Roberto Baldocchini, who already worked out with the minor leaguers, and is certainly very happy to be where he is right now.
He is an infielder who the Angels gave a lot of money to. Big signing bonus, around $8 million. And finally was able to get to camp here today. He's going to watch the ball game after working out earlier today. There's certainly the distinct possibility he's going to work out a lot with the Angels players. Whether or not we see him in any Cactus League action certainly remains to be seen. He'll begin the year in the minors, but he could be a guy who certainly could be on the fast track and someday soon wear an Angel uniform. On the hill for the Angels, as Jose mentioned, is Matt Shoemaker, who dropped some 30 pounds during the offseason. That's kind of normal for him. He'll gain weight as the season begins, but a little bit lighter here in spring training. Shoemaker, his battery mate, is Chris Iannetta. The umpires today, Trip Gibson will be calling balls and strikes. We'll have Bruce Streckman, Jim Reynolds, and Rob Drake as the umpires on the bases. Mentions at Tempe Diablo, 340 to left, 359 to right. Goes 420 to dead center, and the alleys are 400 feet in both left center field and right center field. Another big crowd here today. And yesterday for the game against the Cubs, we had close to 8,500. Wouldn't be surprised if we have somewhere in that vicinity today. And Jose, earlier in the day today, we saw when the Angels were working out here at Tempe Diablo Stadium, I saw more people here watching the workout than we've seen in a long time.
That's what makes spring training so much fun. Every time people ask us during the regular season, should I make the trip to Tempe? It's like, welcome. Go early, see the workout, get some autographs, enjoy baseball, and then head back.
Early arriving crowd today. So we're set for baseball. Angels, red tops, white pants. And as far as the Padres, they have the blue tops, gray pants. Maben is the batter. We're set for baseball, and the first pitch inside for a ball. We're underway. The count 1 ball, no strikes. Cameron Maben, 235 batting average last season for San Diego. And here's the next delivery. This one is chopped on an easy hop. Rutledge is playing short today. Has thrown plenty of time to C.J. Cron. And that's the game's first out. Easy play. Former Angel Alexi Amarista will be the next batter. The shortstop for San Diego. Left-handed hitter.
Terry, seems like a very slow day around here today. Oh, that's right. Our good friend, Will Ferrell, made his rounds, finished off last night, pitched in third of an inning. He caught, he did everything, and is back to normal here. But what a fun day yesterday.
Yeah, it was. Different day yesterday, but there was a buzz around the ballpark with Will Ferrell playing for both the Angels and the Cubs in yesterday's exhibition game. First pitch on Amarista in there from Shoemaker. Here's the next one, and that's off speed in there for a called strike. Shoemaker making his second spring start. Worked 3 innings this past Sunday. That was against the Royals. And that was a game right here. He allowed a couple runs, 4 hits, struck out 1. Here's the 0-2 on Amarista. And this one is a little shot behind the mound, stopped by the shortstop, Rutledge, who makes a nice play on that one and gets Amarista. That was a very good play by Rutledge. He had a charge from short, fielded the ball just behind the pitcher's mound. Amarista can run, but he was an out at first base.
Main thing there, you see a great transfer and a great accommodation of his feet to make sure he gets that bare hand. That's his only chance if he's going to get a Marista. Also with a nice scoop at first base by C.J. Cron, flashing some leather.
Will Venable will be the batter. And here's the pitch. That one is up and in. In this inning, we've seen Maben and Venable. But you look at what the Padres have done in the offseason. They have completely changed the look of the outfield. Venable is an outfielder, so is Maben, but there could be some guys fighting for playing time this year in the outfield for San Diego.
We're hoping that at least they're getting some exposure because there's not room for everybody right now.
Yeah, there's one fouled back.
Venable has a lot of speed, pretty decent defender, but boy, they have made some tremendous additions all over the place, and they spent some money. General Manager A.J. Preller very aggressively trying to get it done on the offensive side, especially.
There's a pitch that misses low. They added Matt Kemp in the outfield, Will Myers, Justin Upton. So a lot of competition in Padre camp this spring. The 2-2 pitch, and he got him looking, caught the inside corner, struck him out, and a strong first inning for Shoemaker. They failed to get the ball out of the infield against no runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left. Half inning completed today in Tempe. It's the Padres nothing, the Angels coming to bat. You're listening to the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Prime. Big right-hander Tyson Ross has wrapped up his warm-up tosses for the Padres. Bottom of the first inning we go, no score. Today's game being brought to you in part by In-N-Out Burger. There's fresh and there's In-N-Out Fresh. Always the highest quality ingredients, always made to order, never compromised at In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger's all about. Why not stop in after the game? And the first delivery misses for ball one on the leadoff man for the Angels today, Colin Cowgill. Right-hander against right-hander. This is Ross's second start this spring. He's only pitched one inning in his first appearance, and he misses ball two. It's 2-0. Ross, kind of a deceiving record last year. 13 wins, 14 losses. And there's a swing and a miss. 2-1 the count. His ERA last year was 2.81, and he was an NL All-Star last year. From the Bay Area, he went to Cal Berkeley, former second-round pick of the A's. And last season, Jose, was kind of a breakout year for him.
He was outstanding. For many years, he was described by scouts as a basketball player on the mound. He's more of a slinger or thrower, but Terry, he is right now very polished big league pitcher.
2-1. That's outside, and the count goes to 3 balls, 1 strike. Navarro waits on deck.
Aaron, it seems like Oakland, San Diego, 2 organizations where guy gets to St. Louis at them too. Guys come in from other organizations, and all of a sudden, it's magic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable what Buddy Black and the rest of the staff and minor league coaches do there, but certainly it's admirable.
Pitch missed on Cowgill, so he leads the inning off with a walk. Ross did walk 72 last year, but he threw 195 and 2/3 innings. 27-year-old right-hander.
Another team that seems like some outcasts find a way and find their way back. Tampa Bay Rays with Jim Hickey. Ask a guy named Fernando Rodney. And a guy named Joaquin Benoit.
Yeah.
He was out of baseball before he got a chance at Tampa Bay.
And they're hoping that they can turn around Ernesto Frieri in their bullpen this year. We'll see what happens.
There you have it. Former Angel Joel Peralta. Just a list of many, many names where guys got a chance over there and turned their career around.
Here's Navarro at the plate, left-handed batter. Driven in a couple runs so far this spring, 5 for 13. He takes the first one for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Defensively for San Diego, they have Tommy Medica playing first. Hervis Solarte is the second baseman. Corey Spangenberg is at third, and Alexi Amarista at short. Alex Dickerson in left. Cameron Maben in center. Will Venable in right. Austin Hedges catching. And the next pitch, a cut and a miss by Navarro. 1-1. I mentioned some of the moves the Padres have made this offseason, and they have made a lot of them. And Buddy Black, the manager, is in his 9th season as their skipper, but this is the final year of his contract. There goes the runner, pitches a strike, throw to second, and safe at second base with a stolen base is Cowgill. So he was on the move and steals second.
Well, gotta love that. Stay aggressive. Find out right away, no matter what the combination is with Ross and Hedges. If you find a pattern, if you have a good lead, sometimes you got to do is guess on pitch selection and go from there. And that was a good guess on pitch selection.
Mentioning Buddy Black, though, he could be under the microscope a little bit this season.
I'll just say this is the best team he'll ever break camp with.
Yeah.
If it all stays the way it is.
Here's one bounced off the plate. A high hopper behind the mound, stopped by the third baseman, and Spangenberg's throw is in time to get Navarro on the play. Moving over to third base is Cowgill.
And of course, when we talk about best team, it's best team on paper. But he's had success. He has taken these Padres to the postseason before.
Buddy Black, former National League Manager of the Year. That was back in the 2010 season. They've been to the postseason just 2 times in the last 10 years. Last playoff appearance for them, 2006. Ended up 8 games under 500 last year. Here's Matt Joyce with a chance to drive in a run. 1 out. Runner at third. Infield in. No score. Bottom of the first. Joyce takes low. That was a good stop by the catcher Hedges. That one gets by him, and the Angels might get a gift run.
It's very important here for your lead at third base to be dictated about where that third baseman is. And that's what we see Colin Cowgill doing right here.
Joyce has had just 8 at-bats so far this spring of 4 hits. And the pitch, he chops that one on the first base side. Going to the bag is the first baseman, and then he throws to the plate as Cowgill is able to get there before the throw. Well, the first baseman decided to touch the bag to get the out, and that probably cost him a chance to get the out at the plate.
It all starts with a great lead, and the one thing that seems like Medica was not anticipating was an Angels runner going on contact. But that's just the Angels, the way they get it done. Had he just picked up the ball and got home, Cowgill was out. But that's why you take chances, and that's why you continue to put the pressure on. All started with a good lead at third base. Well done.
So Joyce will get the RBI on the unassisted putout. Ground out to the first baseman, Tommy Medica. 1-0 Angels. Crone at the plate. He's batting cleanup. He's been hitting some home runs recently, 2 in the last 3 games, and takes that one for a strike. It evens up the count 1-1.
One thing, Terry, is, in order to score against prime pitching, and Tyson Ross is among those, these are things you have to take advantage of as the regular season rolls around. You happen to issue a leadoff walk, something obviously he doesn't do very often. Got the running game on. Good situational hitting by Navarro. Same thing by Joyce. And put the pressure on. Get on the board somehow.
2-1 pitch. Pop back foul behind the plate. The catcher Hedges is going back, but he will run out of room. Trucks just in front of us, out of play. Yeah, the Angels clearly manufacturing a run. They haven't had a hit. In fact, the ball hasn't left the infield in this inning, but the leadoff walk, the steal of second, that ground ball moving Cowgill to third, and then another ground out, bringing him home.
Got to get back to that more often in the regular season. Players buy into it.
Here's the next pitch. That's low and outside.
One stat that you probably would not relate Tyson Ross to, Terry, is the fact that he misses a lot of barrels. Second in the National League in percentage of swings and misses. 30% of the swings against him were whiffs. Think about that. And the number 1 guy, you'll be going, no way. All swings and misses in the National League last year. Francisco Liriano.
Well, guy with good stuff, I guess. Understandable.
Right. And it's not all related to just the fastball. It's not about 95, 97 for swings and misses. Clayton Kershaw, 4th. In fact, in baseball, Clayton Kershaw 4th in the National League, 28.3. And the number 1 pitcher in the American League in swings and miss percentage is Chris Sale at 29.2%.
Iannetta batting after Crone picks up the second walk in the inning. He's over there at first with 2 outs, 1-0 Angels, bottom of the first.
Something that Terry, the more I talk to opposing managers, coaches, scouts, and even in grading free agents, that keeps coming up way more. How many barrels does he miss? That's why a guy like Matt Shoemaker, we want to make that point today in the open about a guy that is only a percentage point behind a guy named Garrett Richards and how many barrels he misses.
That split finger pitch for Shoemaker certainly factoring into that. The swing and miss pitch for him. No balls, 2 strikes here on Iannetta. Ross from the stretch, infield back, 2 outs. Here's the next pitch. It's low, and Ross has bounced in a few here in this inning. He's thrown 20 pitches so far in the inning.
It seems like he's been a little erratic, like he was in the first outing when he, as he mentioned, went only 1 inning, trying to get a feel for his body and his arm at this point here early in camp.
Ross faced the Rockies in that first start this spring, and that was this past Sunday. Runner goes, pitches low, ball bobbled by the catcher Hedges, and that'll be a stolen base for Crone. You're not going to see too many out of him, but he gets one here. No, last few games, Jose, we've seen the opposition running on the Angels. They're returning the favor today against San Diego against the young catcher.
That's great. Why wait around?
So another runner in scoring position, although the Angels haven't had a hit in the inning, but lead it 1-0. The 2-2 on Iannetta. And there's one he lifts in the air in the right center field. Chasing is Venable, and he will make the running over the shoulder grab. And that'll end the inning. When that left the bat, it looked like it might have a chance to drop in the gap, but Venable can run, and he makes the catch on that liner the opposite way. So the Angels settle for 1 without getting a hit. 2 walks, no errors, and 1 runner left. 1 in the books. Second is coming up. The Angels have a 1-0 lead on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Prime Ticket. 1-0 Angels as we go to the second inning. Tommy Medica, who's playing first base, batting cleanup, will lead it off. Shoemaker's pitch, and right-hander against right-hander. That one misses for a ball. This copyrighted broadcast presented by authority of Angels Baseball may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball. 1-0 pitch. That's fouled off to our right, backing out of play.
Tommy Medica, pretty powerful right-handed bat who's developing to know more about big league pitching and how he is approached. Terry, he's got a hot zone, almost like a lefty. Down and in, and he'll let it fly.
Hit 233 last year, 9 home runs for the Padres, and lifts one into shallow center field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Wasn't deep at all. Cowgill came charging in, but unable to make a catch on that one. It's a leadoff single, so that's the game's first hit. And the batter will be the second baseman, Solarte.
We're pretty impressed about how the last inning finished, and we're trying to figure out what kind of pitches that Shoemaker threw, Terry, and it was a beautiful low-hitted cut fastball. Great job by Chris Iannetta framing that pitch. So, hey, it could be something new that Shoemaker's throwing out at hitters now that perhaps he did not use a whole lot last year.
So Solarte, who was with the Yankees and then traded to the Padres during last season, will step to the plate, and the pitch, that one misses inside for a ball.
One time for a very short time, Jan Hervis Solarte was leading the American League in hitting. Go figure.
And he had been a career minor leaguer in the Twins and Rangers organizations going into last season. He was the guy who initially replaced A-Rod at third base for New York. Here's a little pop in the shallow right, and that's going to fall in for another bloop hit. So moving up to second is Medica, and at first base is Solarte with a bloop single. Runners on at first and second. Jake Gobert will be the next batter. So Gobert, who was in 51 games for San Diego last year, will step up. He hit .218 for them a year ago. Infield is back at double play depth. Left-handed batter at the plate. They have a string of them that will be coming up now against Shoemaker, and the pitch a little bit low with that one. 1 ball, no strikes. Padres are threatening. The Angels are leading 1-0, but San Diego runners at first and second. No outs here in the second inning. Shoemaker set, checks second, delivers. This one is lifted in the air in the right center field. Cowgill chasing. He can't catch it. Ball bounces off his gloves. They're going to get a run in, and it's going to be a double off the bat of Gobert. And San Diego has quickly tied the game up at 1, and they have runners at second and third.
That's pretty much what you have to do as a hitter anytime you go face somebody like Matt Shoemaker, whether it's his fastball or his off speed, especially the split finger. Something up. Got to take advantage, put it in play, and that's what happened here with his first 3 batters. Even though, not like the ball's getting hit very hard, but the pitches have been elevated.
So the batter now is Alex Dickerson, left-handed batter. Shoemaker's in some trouble here. 3 straight hits in the inning. And a run on the board. First pitch, that's outside on the left-handed batter for ball 1.
What do you think Buddy Black told his runners? If you get to third base, first pitch, what to look for? Count your throwing behind you. Who knows better than Buddy Black and what Mike Scioscia's tendencies are?
Sure. Infield in a bit. Outfield playing Dickerson the opposite way. He takes that pitch for a ball. So it's 2-0. Dickerson last year, rookie ball and Double-A, hit .317 with 3 homers. He drove in 36 runs. Pretty good young hitter. He was the rookie of the year in the Double-A Eastern League last year. Pitch on its way. That's in there for a called strike.
It's a pretty good pitch. 2-seam fastball. moving away from the hitter and the hitter's count. Now we've seen the two-seamer run away well with some life, and we've seen the cut fastball, which we just exposed recently.
Here's the next delivery. That's hit well into right center field. Navarro is chasing. He's not going to be able to run that one down. It's going to bounce all the way out to the wall. 2 runs are going to score. Headed for third, and getting there without a throw will be Dickerson. So they've had 2 singles, a double, and now a triple in the inning. And the Padres have a 3-1 lead.
That's pretty much using same approach as they saw from Medica, Solarte, and Goldberg. Move up on the plate. If you need to crowd the plate, go ahead, take it away, and make him elevate, and they're not missing.
Every hitter so far, all 4 in the inning, have had hits. 3 of them have scored. And it brings up the 8-hole hitter. This is Corey Spangenberg, who got into 20 games for San Diego last year. Left-handed batter, hit .290 with them. Only 23 years old, playing third base. Here's the pitch, and he cuts it, that one, for strike 1. Well, Matt Shoemaker last season had kind of a miraculous year for the Angels. You would have never figured he would have pitched as well as he did. He was 16-4 last season. Runner-up for Rookie of the Year in the AL. Here's one lined into left field, and there making the grab on it is Krause, tagging though at third base, and coming in to score will be Dickerson on the sac fly. It's now 4-1 San Diego.
That was about the hardest hit ball we've seen this inning. It was right at somebody, fortunately for Shoemaker and the Angels. And yeah, Terry, what you said is true. I mean, he was the unknown guy who came sometimes out of the bullpen. You know, his 16 wins, not all of them came as a starter, and helped the Angels in so many ways. But as we keep saying, it's a game of adjustments. He's a touch and feel kind of guy. He's trying to get a feel right now for his pitches here in the dry air in Arizona, and perhaps he's done it many other times on the minor league side. This is a little different now. There's more information about him and facing the best hitters.
This pitch was missed by the catcher Hedges. He was in Double-A last year as their number 9 batter. That one evens up the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Shoemaker, in winning 16 games last year, and that one is outside, he did it pitching only 136 innings. And so that's a pretty amazing number of wins for that few number of innings pitched.
In many respects, everything was lined up for him to have that kind of season.
Yeah, no question about it.
Including times when the Angels gave him a great amount of runs to work with, and he went out there to take care of business, coming into a game later and getting a win as a reliever. All those things went into play, Terry.
Here's the 2-2 on Hedges, and that's low and outside. To illustrate really how amazing Shoemaker's year was last year, if you go back to 1901 in Major League Baseball, there's been only one pitcher in the history of the game who's won more games than Shoemaker with that few number of innings pitched in a season. And there is ball 4. So Hedges is on. The only pitcher with more wins in that limited number of innings in a season was Roy Face, and that was back in 1959. He won 18 games, and he did it in only 93 1/3 innings.
How that happened.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
that's unbelievable.
Pretty much.
Right, but Shoemaker would be next on the list as far as most wins since 1901 with that few number of innings pitched in a season.
That's amazing.
There's a breaking ball, and that's in there for a called strike. Shoemaker, Ron Peronowski, and a pitcher by the name of Freddie Fitzsimmons back in 1940 all won 16 games in a season, throwing 137 innings or less. Here's the pitch. That's skied and hit deep into left center field. Krause has gone way back, also chasing and making the catch near the rim of the track is Calgill, and he will put that one away. That one gave out just a little bit. Not much breeze here today. Still hit a long ways. That was hit about 390. out there by Maben, but just a long out, and the runner Hedges, who was all the way at second base, had to retreat back to first on that flyout. Amarista will bat, and he is the 8th batter up in the inning. 4 runs in, it's 4-1 San Diego. Here's the pitch, and that one is high.
And going back to Shoemaker, Terry, he made 3 relief outings for the Angels before he took them out. The first time he started again for the Angels last season. It didn't happen until May 13th. And keep in mind, too, he made starts at the AAA level beyond, which, of course, makes you think, what if he had spent the whole time in the big leagues?
Yeah, could have been a 20-game winner. He certainly had lady luck on his side last year.
No doubt. And he had a couple slip-ups. There was a game where he gave up 8 earned runs against Kansas City. And he got some very good run support all throughout. But Terry, he got the job done.
There's a pitch low. Runner is going to break for second, and the throw to the shortstop Rutledge is going to gun down Hedges, the catcher who tried to advance on that one. Iannetta throws a strike, and the inning will end on that play at second base. It'll go 2-6, but in the inning, 4 for the Padres, and they did it with 4 hits and a walk. There were no Angel errors and nobody left, so the Angels have some catching up to do. Down 4-1. We go to the bottom of the second. The Angels Baseball Radio Network and Prime Ticket. Josh Rutledge leads it off for the Angels. Bottom of the second we go. First pitch taken for a strike. 4-1 San Diego after the Padres put a 4 spot on the board at the top of the inning. There's a pitch low. 1 ball, 1 strike. It'll be Rutledge, Green, and Krause. 6, 7, and 8 hitters against the Padres starter Tyson Ross. The 1-1 right in there for a called strike.
So far, Rutledge here this spring, 3 for 17. Hope to see that bat going. Mike Social want to give him more reps, so that's why he's at shortstop today.
1-2 pitch. He bounces this one is short. Amarista has it, and it's thrown a little bit low, but handled by Medica for the first out. So 1 away. Grant Green gets ready for his first at bat. It's time once again to go around the grill with Albertsons.
What?
Tender ribs, Jose. Slow and low is the key. Maintain a low temp for several hours. Spikes and valleys of heat will tend to dry out the meat. but consistent low heat will deliver the results you are looking for. Around the Grill, it's brought to you by Albertsons. You're in for something fresh.
Well taken. That's another note we have. So it's low and low. Okay. Take care of that.
Here's the pitch. That one swing and a miss.
As we love to light up that grill after some of those day games back at the Big A, Terry. Go back with the family and grill up.
I know you
Off
like
days.
to do it, Jose. Sometimes you'll send me pictures of what's on the grill. The 0-2. That's low. 1-2 the count on Grant Green.
Before you know it, before the season's over, I'm going to have a book like yours just on some of the grill tips we're getting.
There you go. Well, Albertsons is helping us out. We're getting informed this spring. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Chopped on the third base side. This could be a tough play, and it will be a tough play for Spangenberg, as he was never able to get the handle on it. He tried to charge in, which he had to do. It was softly hit and barehanded. The ball skipped off his hand. So that's going to be a hit, and that's the Angels' first hit of the game. It's brought to you by 714 Tickets. If you want to make a hit on tickets, log on to 714tickets.com. 714 Tickets. Call today. Go tonight.
Tough spin anytime a ball bounces a second time and starts taking off towards that line. Your body is positioned to come straight, perhaps maybe get around it, but it's very tough when you think about making a barehand play.
1 out hit. There's Mark Krause at the plate. Green is going. Pitches high. Thrown to second in time. And Green is gunned down by Hedges.
Well, there's a reason why the Angels are testing Tyson Ross, especially. He gave up 31 stolen bases last year. And what he does here to help out his young catcher Hedges, well, a little bit quicker to the plate, not holding as much. And that certainly paid off with a good throw.
So that's the second out. And the 1-0 on Krause. That's low. It skipped off the glove of the catcher Hedges, but no one on base. Two balls, no strikes. And the next delivery is swing and a miss. So it's 2-1. If the inning continues, Yarbrough waiting on deck. And here's the next pitch. That's tapped foul. Over by Yarbrough, waiting on deck. Angels scored last inning without a hit, but the Padres came up with 4 in the top of the second. They lead a 4-1, and there's a called third strike on Krause. A pitch that nicked the inside part of the plate, struck him out looking. So the first strikeout for Ross, who is a strikeout pitcher. And that'll do it for the Angels here in the second. In the inning, no runs, a hit, no errors, nobody left. 2 complete. Third is next. You're listening. Third inning of work for Matt Shoemaker, and he faces Alexi Amarista. First pitch, a little bit low for a ball. Fans, get your red on. Make Angel Stadium your group destination in 2015. Angels group outing, perfect way to entertain clients, promote teamwork, strengthen relationships, and boost morale. There's a fly ball lifted into left center field, circling under is Cowgill. He'll put that one away. Amarista is retired, and Venable will be the next batter. I want to remind you, you can experience an unforgettable event. Your group destination in 2015 is Angel Stadium for as low as $6 per seat. Companies, schools, churches, and teams will all enjoy special group benefits when bringing 20 or more people to Angel Stadium. To book your group outing, call 888-796-HALO or visit angels.com/groups. So one away. And batting now is Venable, and he fouls that one back off of Matt Shoemaker. Shoemaker had a easy first inning, but a second inning that he would like to forget.
It's all about making adjustments and getting to a pitch quota, which should be around 60 today.
Next pitch. This is popped up on the right side. Easy play. The Angels' first baseman today is C.J. Cron. He'll catch it across from the bag on the infield dirt, and that's a out. Second out in the inning. Tommy Medica will bat.
Well, as crafty as Shoemaker could be at times, he is a fly ball pitcher, which is really suitable for the games at home at the Big A. Last season, Shoemaker, we talk about all the things that went right, Terry. Getting sent up and down, barely making the team out of spring training. Had Joel Blanton pitched better, we probably would not have seen Shoemaker on the ball club breaking with a club as a long reliever.
Here's the pitch, and that one is on the outside part of the plate. Good looking pitch called strike.
Terrific story. A guy that had to pretty much knock the door down to get a chance to pitch professional baseball.
Yep,
undrafted
Michigan, out of college. Here's the next pitch, and that's in there for a called strike. 0-2.
So it's time to go to that spike curveball. So far he's thrown a few nice ones.
Way in front on Medica, who got a blue pit his first time up. 2-strike pitch. That fastball misses high.
It's pretty interesting watching Chris Iannetta telling him to calm down, putting both palms down, and then putting the glove out before he called with pitch. So he's got the hitter thinking if he puts the glove out there, he's probably going to be calling a breaking ball again, and went right for the fastball.
Here's the next delivery, and that one is fouled off on the right side, backing out of play.
Those mind games of Chris Iannetta. More and more comfortable, Terry, for sure, the last couple of seasons in handling the Angels staff. Working with Mike Scioscia, Mike Butcher, the pitchers.
The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He got him, struck him out, and that will end the inning. Pulled Medica there, and a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left. Shoemaker picks up strikeout number 2 in the ball game. We're headed to the bottom of the third, 4-1 San Diego on the Angels Baseball Radio. Alex Yarbrough leads it off for the Angels, who trail San Diego 4-1. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. And the first pitch, ball one. Switch hitting Yarbrough, 1 for 7 so far this spring. Young second baseman, and he cuts at that one and misses it. 1 ball, 1 strike. We'll check out the Ram out-of-town scoreboard in just a moment. It's brought to you by the Ram 1500, Green Card Journal's 2015 Green Card Truck of the Year. Visit ramtrucks.com to learn more about the fuel-efficient Ram 1500. There's a called strike on the outside part of the plate, so it's now 1-2 on Alex Yarbrough.
Young players getting a chance. Long looks today for guys like Navarro, obviously. Guys like Rutledge, Green, Yarbrough, Rouse.
Bouncing ball hit to Solarte, the second baseman. He will throw him out, so 1 gone.
It's one of those days, Terry, when you as a player trying to crack that roster, like, I get to start. They're going to give me a chance to get 3 or 4 at bats. I got to go out there and play my game. We actually feel like a big leaguer today, even if you haven't stepped in the big leagues. Wow, big crowd, great environment.
So the batter now is Colin Cowgill.
You know what you tell yourself too? Please don't mess up.
Yep. There's Cowgill swinging and missing.
And then come those days when the traveling secretary is out there passing away the meal money for the week, and they don't come to you. You know the next call's coming from the manager's office.
You know what's happening next. Here's the 0-1, swing and a miss by Cowgill. Grapefruit League today in Florida. Phillies beat the Rays 2-1. Ryan Howard a home run for Philadelphia. Yankees and Red Sox will play later on today in Florida. The Red Sox will introduce Yoan Moncada, one of their newest Cuban imports. There's one lined into left center. That's going to fall in for a base hit. And Cowgill hustling for 2. Throw is way offline. He'll get there easily. So a hustle double right there for Cowgill. He's batting leadoff today, and he's done a good job in that role on base both times.
Good job of hitting, and to me, even a better job of running. You put your head down, you know where the ball is, and mainly you know where the outfielder is. As an outfielder, as I always say, understand what it's going to take to throw you out, and that's where you're going to take that chance. We were talking about Moncada, and of course, we also, before the game today, learned that the Angels' latest addition is Cuban Roberto Baldoquin, who's watching his first major league game. After working out with the minor leaguers, Baldoquin is in the stands.
Here's the pitch. Bounce right to the third baseman. That's Spangenberg, and has thrown plenty of time to get Navarro. And Cowgill unable to advance on that ground ball. Hits at the third baseman. So that is the second out. 5-3 on the ground out. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Prime Ticket. Terry Smith, Jose Mota, our producer engineer is Darren Chan. Great to have you with us here for Friday afternoon baseball. Here's the pitch, and this is bounced off the plate. A fair ball. It goes right out to the second baseman. Solarte will throw out the Angel batter Matt Joyce. He's set down on 1 pitch, and that's how the inning will end. Angels had a 1-out double by Cowgill. Couldn't get him in. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. So we're moving on to the 4th, and right now it's 4. Fourth inning about ready to begin. It's 4-1 San Diego.
It's good to see Matt Shoemaker back out there. Mike Scioscia's really big on getting his pitchers up and whatever they're supposed to be. So it means 4 times up to the mound, and hopefully he'll finish off. He's actually been somewhat economical, Terry, considering that he's had a little trouble. Starts off this inning with 42 pitches. And he's supposed to be getting around 60 today, so that's a good sign.
Just on the first one, too, Solarte, who singled his first time up. He swings at this one and pops it up foul on the third base side. It might be playable, and making the grab is Grant Green, just a few feet from the railing in front of the Padres dugout, third base side, down around the photo well. So that's out number 1. Easy play. Shoemaker has settled down now to retire the last 5 in a row.
And one of those was the strikeout, Terry, to Tommy Medica to finish up the third inning. Seems like at this point, Chris Iannetta has been a little bit more expressive on things that he wants to see executed here, and helping Shoemaker out with some very distinct visuals.
Gobert is the batter. I want to remind Angel fans, be sure to tune into the Rich Eisen Show. Weekday mornings, he has great guests and topics each day. That's the Rich Eisen Show. 9 to noon right here on Angels Radio, AM 830, KLAA. Here's a high fly ball lifted deep into left center field. Cowgill is chasing out there, and that one is off the wall in left center, and stopping at second with that opposite field double. His second double of the game is Jake Gobert. So he has had the number against Shoemaker here a couple times up.
No kidding. So who's this Gobert guy? Get him out of here. It was a good job going the other way. Infielder, outfielder, Jake Gobert. He's out of Illinois. Spreads the ball around.
Alex Dickerson will be the next batter. He tripled in a pair of runs back in the top of the second. We're in the top of the fourth right now. 4-1 San Diego. Shoemaker's pitch. Cut and a miss. 0-1 the count.
Padres get the offense they're expected to get this season. It could be a very interesting year in the NL West. The pitching is there, but the offense last year averaged 3.3 runs per game. The worst in the major leagues. They hit .226 as a team and slugged .342 also as a team. They scored a major league low 535 runs.
Team batting average .226. That was worse than the majors. Here's the pitch on its way, and that one is outside. We mentioned all the outfielders that they've added here in 2015 with Kemp acquired, Myers, Upton. The Padres outfielders last year totaled 29 home runs.
Can you imagine that?
29 from their entire outfield core. And they drove in only 141 runs, all of their outfielders combined. So that's why they went out and got some new outfielders.
Got some good names.
Yeah.
In fact, the most productive hitter in the second half of the season, Matt Kemp. It's 17 home runs for Matt Kemp in the second half of the season. Got at .309 and slugged .606 for the Dodgers.
3 balls, 1 strike here on Dickerson. 1 out runner at second. 4-1 San Diego in the fourth. And that one is in there for a strike. You look at the players they added. We mentioned Kemp and Myers and Upton. They got Derek Norris from Oakland.
All-star catcher.
They picked up Will Middlebrooks from Boston.
Who's looking to revive his career pretty much. Things did not go well with the Red Sox.
They added some pitching. Brandon Morrow. Also Sean Kelly. Pitch on its way. This one is popped in the air. Shallow left field. Coming in is Krause, and he'll make the grab on that one. Doesn't hit very deep. A lot higher than it was deeper. And that is the second out.
You got guys that are figuring out, where am I going to play? Well, Carlos Quentin has barely played in this Padres career. Cameron Maven, last 2 seasons, only 109 games. Will Venable, not the production they're looking for with the bats. Yes, he can run, he can cover in the outfield, but one of the biggest questions still is center field. And it looks like Will Myers, who's played a lot of center field in AAA, is the leading candidate to take over in center field.
There's a pitch on the third baseman, Spangenberg, and he takes it for a strike. He has a sac fly. Infield is back. Outfield shading the left-handed batter the opposite way. 2 outs, runner at second. Next pitch. Bounce by Shoemaker and through into center. And that is going to be a run. Coming in and scoring with 2 outs from second is Gobert on the base hit right by Shoemaker and through into center field. It's now 5-1 San Diego.
This bottom of the order has been an absolute headache against Matt Shoemaker. They continue to pretty much pound everything that he leaves out over the plate. We've seen the Shoemaker that when he's on his game, we've seen some well-executed pitches darting out of the zone, but when he's been flat and too much of the wide of the plate, he's paid the price. Danny Reynolds now warms up in the Angels bullpen.
Austin Hedges, the catcher, 9-hole hitter, bats. He walked his first time up.
Roger Lodge is here. There's a Roger Lodge appearing in our booth right now.
Yeah, we're going to have Roger join us on the broadcast when we get to the bottom of the inning, the bottom of the fourth. Afternoon man on our flagship station, Angels Radio, AM 830. Close to the Sports Lodge.
The man.
Here's the pitch. A swing and a miss. So the count now. No balls and a strike on Hedges.
So this was a shot out. There's so many traveling teams here this weekend. Came from Southern California. A lot of tournaments taking place around this area. Yeah. It's good to see how many of those teams made it down here to Tempe Diablo, and how many of those young, eager players got to meet some of their heroes here today on the field. Snap some pictures, get some autographs. Wish them good luck. Southern Cal against Arizona teams. Go get them.
So with all those teams coming here to play in these different tournament games, when are they playing these games? At night? Because they're here in the afternoon watching the Angels. Yeah.
To a young man, so he has a 5:30 game tonight and also a 7:15 game. So
there you go. 0-1 to count on Hedges. Shoemaker's delivery. Angels pitch out. Nothing doing there.
I think it's great that they work out those schedules for the young players and their families to catch a Cactus League game and then head on out to get their reps.
It's all about timing, Jose.
Smart timing, remember. It's all about efficiency.
1 ball, 1 strike.
It's all about communication.
Pickoff toss, and they have the runner caught in a rundown between first and second. They'll run him back towards first. Shoemaker will apply the tag as they pick off Spangenberg, and the inning will come to an end. The Padres do get a run in the inning. They had 2 hits in the inning, no errors, and nobody left. Bottom of the fourth coming up. Angels need some runs, trailing right now 5-1 on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Prime Ticket. We get set to move to the bottom of the fourth inning. It'll be Crone, Iannetta, and Rutledge. And a new pitcher will be facing the Angels, and his name is Frank Garces. So the numbers on Tyson Ross, their starter. He worked 3 innings. Along the way, allowed 2 hits, a run. He walked 2. And in the strikeout department, he had 1. And he leaves with the lead. It's 5-1 as we enter the bottom of the fourth inning. And the batter now is C.J. Crone. Crone walked his first time up. And the first pitch, that's right in there for a strike. The pitching change here in the inning for the Padres. It's sponsored by Irvine Auto Center, where it's March Markdown Madness time. Huge markdowns in every Irvine Auto Center store. Here's the next pitch. It's bounced by the mound and just out of the reach of Amarista. It'll roll through into left center field. That's a leadoff hit for Crone. He's on for the second time. I want to remind you, shop online at IrvineAutoCenter.com. Come visit them where the 5 meets the 405 at Lake Forest Drive. Well, we mentioned from our flagship station, Angels Radio AM 830, Roger Lodge is here. Had the Sports Lodge up and running yesterday here in Tempe, and we'll follow on AM 830 after the ball game today. Roger, welcome back to Tempe Diablo Stadium.
Guys, am I in heaven? Because this is as good as it gets. Look at this, an absolute beautiful day for baseball. I'm sitting with Terry Smith and Jose Mota in the booth watching my Halos. This is beautiful.
Here's the pitch. Iannetta bounces the ball to the third baseman. They flip to second for 1, relay to first, and that is in time. So a quick double play right there. And now 2 are gone. 6-4-3 on the twin killing.
Yeah, these guys are killing my booth time. A quick double play like this. I have late breaking news, and that's why I got to get to this before the next out, and I'm out of here. I just came down from talking with Artie Marino and Steve Simpson from Fox down there. So Artie Marino and I, with the permission of John Carpino, I am going to have the biggest Halo honk night at the ballpark we've ever done, and it's coming up very soon, and everyone's got to stay tuned, Terry, because it's going to be crazy, and it's going to be the greatest Halo honk night we've ever had.
Roger, we still have those t-shirts, so refresh them up.
The rumor is you sleep in yours, Jose. Can you confirm or deny that you sleep in your Halo honk t-shirt?
I will just say it's very comfortable.
I am going to give baseball fans in Southern California the opportunity to do things they've never dreamed of. I'm going to be like Monty Hall and Let's Make a Deal. It's going to be incredible. Stay tuned for more details. Follow me on Twitter at RogerLodge7. I will be hinting very soon how you can be a part of the next Halo honk night.
There's a pitch that's a little bit outside. It misses ball 2. 2-1 to count.
Yeah, Roger's making us feel like the season's about to start.
I'm so fired up about this season. Come on.
I kind of want to get some more information here. You're whetting my appetite.
Terry, it's going to be incredible. If you're a baseball fan, that's going to be a base hit to center field.
And it will drop a few feet in front of Maben. So Rutledge is on. And the next batter is going to be Grant Green. And, Roger, while we have you in here, I want you to take over now with 2 outs. And Grant Green coming to the plate. You are now the play-by-play announcer here on our broadcast.
All right, so Grant Green, the pride of Canyon High School, and USC will step in. Runner at first base. 2 down here as we play in the bottom of the fourth. And the Padres with a 5-1 lead. Looks in, gets the sign. Here he comes to Grant Green. Just missed off the plate. It's 1-0. Grant Green, of course, one of the guys, Jose, in the running for that second base spot with Josh Rutledge, Grant Green, of course, and there's some other guys. And the athleticism of Taylor Featherston as of late, Terry, has really emerged. I think he's a candidate as well.
I think he has a very good chance to make the club, whether it's as the second baseman or in a reserve role.
That's lined in the center field. That's going to be a base hit. And he's going to keep going all the way to third base. So the Angels now with runners at the corner. At the corners with 2 down here in the bottom of the fourth.
Well, for Grant Green, there's just a continuation of what we know, Roger, that he can do. He can put the ball in play. That is already the 6th hit of this spring in 13 at-bats for Grant Green.
And that'll bring up the big left-hander, Mark Krause, who went deep just a couple of games ago for the Halos. You throw anything near home plate, and this guy's going to be all over it.
All right, we'll see.
First and third.
You're calling it? Anything near home plate?
I'm calling my shot right now. Let's face it, the ball flies out of here.
Okay.
First and third. 2 down. Halos trying to get back in this when they trail at 5-1 as we play in the bottom of the fourth. Pitches away, 1-0 to Kraus. He's a big boy up there. All of about 6'4", 230 pounds.
Roger, you don't need an analyst. Go for it. Go.
Okay. I'm on my own here. Let's do it. Okay.
Be like the legend.
So it's a 1-0 to Kraus. First and third for the Halos. A beautiful day for baseball at Tempe Diablo Stadium. Here's the 1-0. That's upstairs 2-0. So another sellout crowd here at Tempe Diablo Stadium, and it's just amazing the gigantic business that spring training baseball has become. Beautiful day out here in Tempe, Arizona. 2-0. Runners at the corners. Here comes the 2-0 to big Mark Kraus. And that's foul back. Look out, that's over towards us. Jose Mota nearly had to make a play. Tough act to follow here after Will Ferrell yesterday. Boy, how great was that? And if you're a fan of baseball, you had to enjoy what Will Ferrell did yesterday out here at the Big A. And the thing that I loved about Will Ferrell's appearance yesterday, fellas, not once did he ever disrespect the game. He came out, he did his thing, he raised a lot of money for cancer. It was a win-win for everybody. Kraus hits one into center field, and they're going to put this one away, and that will end the inning. So,
Roger?
Yeah, how about that, Terry?
Well done.
We appreciate the visit.
Can't teach what I do. Don't forget, the greatest Halo Honk night ever is coming up. Follow me on Twitter, @RogerLodge7, and you're going to be part of a historic night out at the house that the Cowboy built that Artie's made even better, a.k.a. the Big A. You are watching.
We get ready to move now to the fifth inning. It's a 5-1 San Diego lead. Angels have a few changes. New pitcher wrapping up his warm-up tosses is young right-hander Danny Reynolds. We've seen him a few times this spring. And there's a new center fielder. That's Daniel Robertson. So Matt Shoemaker's day is done. He worked the first 4. And he allowed 6 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. As Reynolds gets set to work, he will be appearing in game number 3 this spring, and altogether he's worked 1 inning, and he has not allowed any hits. He's given up no runs, walked 2, struck out 2. Right-hander's pitch, and that one on Hedges misses ball 1. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Always fun to have our good friend Roger Lodge visit with us.
Absolutely. And some good news, too, Terry. I know something big for you is the Halo Hunks.
Here's one that's popped in the air into shallow right field. Let's see who's going to make the call and catch. Grant Green will be waved off by the right fielder, Efren Navarro, and make the catch in shallow right, and that's the first out. Hedges is retired.
So Navarro taking over Yarbrough as a youngster coming out. Anytime you use a right fielder not playing very deep, you go out there coming into that baseball, make it easy for your infielder, so we're backpedaling.
The batter is Maben, and he has gone 0 for 2 today. Leadoff man, here's the pitch, and that is a little bit low.
The late breaking news, Roger Lodge said, Terry. Good.
Well, keep it tuned to AM 830 for all the details. They will be coming out shortly, according to Roger. Here's the pitch. That fastball missed inside.
Just keep your eye on this kid, Reynolds. Good arm, not big in size, but he's got a whip. When he throws a heavy ball, you can hear that glove popping all the way up here. Chris Iannetta.
We're hearing about him last season. He was opening up some eyes in the Angels system. That's fouled back behind the plate. Fastball, that's kind of his bread and butter right now. They'll top out around 97. He also has a good slider, kind of a cutter that he'll throw. He is a reliever, and of course, if a guy throws 97, you know he's going to get Mike Socha's attention.
No kidding. Many people around baseball, too. You throw 96, 97, and you throw strikes, as you keep moving up through the ranks, you're going to open up a lot of eyes inside and outside your organization.
There's a ground ball base hit right in between third and short, and it'll roll on out to Krause. So Maben has a hit. Padres have their 7th in the game, and they have a 1-out base runner for Alexi Amarista. Fans Live Angels Baseball is back in 2015 with MLB.com. The MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. Stay connected with live radio broadcasts, stats, breaking news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Here's the pitch. Amarista taking a strike.
Alexi Amarista, former Angel farmhand, and eventually made his debut with the Angels back in 2011. Traded for our good friend Ernesto Prieri, May of 2012.
There's a pitch in there for a called strike.
Prieri right now trying to reestablish his career after a disappointing year all the way around last year with the Angels and then with the Pirates, then even the Pirates minor leagues. Now in camp, a 1-year contract with the Tampa Bay Rays.
Amarista, an aggressive hitter. He doesn't take very much, and will have to be swinging at the count 0-2. Here's the next delivery. Well, that one's way low and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Size tells you all. 5'6", 160 pounds. There's times when he hits the ball. Pitchers have told me where he sounds and it carries like he's 6'4".
He had 5 home runs last year. Next pitch, Amarista fouls that one off on the left side, backing out of play. Padres have more action in their bullpen. The Angels today are slated to throw Houston Street. Haven't seen a whole lot of him this spring. Fernando Salas on the board, Mike Morin, and Vinny Pastano. Mentioning Street, he's had just 1 appearance so far this spring.
Because that's pretty much his call, Terry. He pretty much told the Angels, this is the program that I've been following for years. This is the program that I'm going to be sticking with. He knows how to get ready.
There's a swing and a foul tip. It's held by the catcher, and Iannetta part of that strikeout against Amarista. So
Good
that's
job.
the 2nd out.
Great job by Iannetta once again. Good job by Reynolds following up. This fastball is running tremendously.
Of course, if we do see Houston Street today, Jose, he'll be facing his old team. Angels got him from the Padres last season.
Houston Street, a big reason why the Angels were able to turn things around.
There's a strike on the outside part of the plate.
That is a heavy fastball right there. Mid-90s. With some run.
Will Venable is the batter. Toss over to first base. Diving back to the bag goes Maben. Maben can run. His problem certainly in recent years has been staying healthy. A lot of injury issues.
He's always been a good athlete. Somebody that can go out there and cover a lot of ground for you. But as you say, it's all about staying out on the field and being productive, which he has not been able to do lately.
Here's the next delivery, and it's a little pop-up on the left side of the infield. The catch will be made. Grant Green, the third baseman for the Angels today, making that grab to retire Venable, and that'll do it for San Diego. So good inning for Reynolds, no runs. They had a hit, no errors. They leave a runner on. Bottom of the fifth coming up. It's a 5-1 San Diego lead on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Prime Ticket. New pitcher in the ballgame for the Padres. His name is Jay Jackson, and the pitching change, it's sponsored by the Irvine Auto Center. Don't forget their March Markdown Madness. Over 5,000 new and used vehicles to choose from, and huge markdowns all month long. Shop online at IrvineAutoCenter.com or visit them where the 5 meets the 405 at Lake Forest Drive in Irvine. First batter to face Jackson is going to be Alex Yarborough. So Jackson replaces Garces, who last inning had kind of an odd inning against the Angels. He faced 5 batters. 3 of them had hits, but the Angels didn't score against them. Ended up leaving a couple runners on base. He was aided by a double play ball. Here's the pitch, and that is outside. It misses for a ball. Jackson, who's pitching for the Padres, appearing in his 4th game this spring, although he's worked only 3 1/3 innings, giving up 2 hits and no earned runs. He has a win for San Diego this spring. There's a pitch in there for a called strike.
Jay Jackson originally signed by the Chicago Cubs back in 2008, 9th rounder out of Furman University.
Here's the next pitch, and that one cut and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Pretty live arm in his career in the minor leagues. 783 innings, 699 strikeouts.
Here's the next pitch. Lifted in the air into left field. Circling back on it is Dickerson, and he will make the catch on the routine fly ball. Yarbrough retired, one away. And Daniel Robertson, who came in to replace Colin Cowgill in center field, get ready for his first at bat. Cowgill had a double, a walk, stole a base, and scored a run. Robertson trying to win a reserve outfield spot for the Angels here in the Cactus League. And so far he's gone 3 for 14 with 1 run batted in. Here's the pitch. That's taken for a called strike.
This guy plays the game right. That's all you keep hearing from Angels staff, and Mike Swisher does a lot of things right to help you out. He's done a good job covering ground in center field. He's made some pretty solid contact. The numbers may not see it, but he has done a good job driving the ball into the gaps.
1 ball, 1 strike to count. Jackson is set, and here comes the next pitch. That is on the outside corner, called strike. The Padres reliever is in his 8th pro season. He's never pitched in the big leagues.
You can only find yourself pulling for people like this that have persevered.
Yeah, been in AAA for a long time, going all the way back to 2009. And the pitch chopped on the third base side and right under the glove of Spangenberg. He did not look good on that one. Breaking for second will be Robertson. So he's at second base with 1 out. Angels have a runner in scoring position.
Should be an error on the third base when he had time to get in front of that ball.
Number 19.
In fact, even circle a little bit better and get the out.
It is an error all the way on Spangenberg. So the Padres' first one of the day. And here is Navarro, who's gone 0 for 2. Angels trailing at 5-1. We're in the bottom of the 5th here in Tempe. Next delivery, and that's a little bit high. Angels and Padres will have a series at the Big A this season. And that'll be coming up in late May, 25th, 26th, 27th. That's a Monday through Wednesday interleague action. Pitch on its way. That's a ball. Snap throw to second. Bad throw. Skips through into center field. And getting up is Robertson to move on to third base. So he's moving around everywhere on Padre errors. That'll be a throwing error on the catcher Hedges.
You can tell right from the beginning the play was put on by Amarista, and all the way around the timing of everything was just way out of sync. Amarista breaks to the bag, and the arm of the catcher Hedges not able to catch up with his body, and that throw absolutely sailed.
Two balls, no strikes. Infield is playing it back. They're conceding the run, and the pitch lifted foul down the left side. Long run for Dickerson, and he's not going to be able to get to it. It goes back and out of play.
You're talking about the center field position. Looks like Will Myers will be the starting center fielder for the Padres, but also questions about shortstop. And Amarista, is he durable enough to withstand the long rigor of a season? And they have a guy named Clint Barmas, Terry, who's done it for many years as a big leaguer, who is a guy that perhaps can provide more for you in terms of experience and what he brings to the table.
Barmas has always been a good defender, although limited action last year with the Pirates for Clint Barmas. Here's a ground ball hit to short. Amarista has it. Throws in plenty of time. Coming in and scoring on the ground out RBI off the bat of Navarro is Robertson. So the Angels get an unearned run and now cut into the lead a little bit. It's 5-2 San Diego.
Here's where you look at the box score. Look at Navarro's line today. 0 for 3. If you look deeper, he's a guy that got the run started in the first inning when he moved Cowgill from second to third on a ground out. And now, with another ground out, he gets the Angels on the board.
There's a pitch that misses low. Joyce is the batter. He's gone 0 for 2, a couple of ground outs.
And with players like Navarro, Terry, that is all you can ask for. Playing sporadically and then finding a way to get the job done beyond the fact that he's a good defender.
There's a pitch that's high and outside. How many times do we talk about baseball and say how funny a game it is? And this ball game right now for the Angels certainly illustrates that. The Angels scored a run in the first inning without a hit. Score a run here in the 5th inning without a hit. Last inning, the Angels had 3 hits and didn't score.
There you go. Hang with them.
Yeah, hard to figure out sometimes. The pitch that's fouled back behind the plate. So 2-1, but that's really the beauty of the game. You really never know what's going to happen next in baseball.
So it makes those ball clubs like last year in the World Series even more special. Two teams that most around baseball said, who's in the World Series? The Giants and the Royals? What? They did many great things and maybe didn't show up in the box scores with some talented players, but it's great to see that.
There's a bouncer hit right to second. Solarte fields. He will throw out Joyce, who grounds out for the 3rd time today, and that'll end the inning. Angels get a run, no hits, 2 errors, and nobody left. Moving on to the 6th inning, 5-2 Padres on the Angels Baseball Radio Network. And so we get ready to move to the 6th inning. And the Angels have a new pitcher in the ball game. Fernando Salas will take over. It is 5-2 in favor of San Diego. I'll give you Reynolds numbers in just a moment. Batter is Tommy Medica. And Salas, who will face him, will get ready to become the 3rd Angel pitcher to see action today. Here's the pitch, and that is a strike on the outside corner. Numbers on Reynolds: 1 inning, 1 hit. He did not allow any runs, and he struck out 1 batter. And here's the next delivery. That one is blown outside. It misses for a ball. Tommy Medica has one of the Padre hits today. Singled and scored a run his first time up.
New catcher for the Angels, Carlos Perez, takes over Chris Iannetta.
And the pitch, that one, a pitch that misses for a ball. Well, during the half-inning break here today, we received some news about a friend, a colleague, a Southern California sports broadcasting legend, Joe McDonnell, who passed away earlier today. There's a pitch that's lifted in the air, hit well into center field. It's hit over the head of Robertson, and that ball is going to take a bounce and smack off the wall. And that is going to be a ground rule or a double for Tommy Medica, leadoff double for him. And Solarte will be the next batter. We've both known Joe McDonnell for, well, for me, over a decade. For you, Jose, even longer. Joe has been a very dear friend of Angels manager Mike Scioscia. Certainly recognized throughout all of Southern California for his radio work, talk show host. Joe's had his hands in a lot of different things media-wise, and we knew he was in failing health, and he's been in failing health for a number of years right now. But to hear of his passing today certainly saddens all of us here in the Angel broadcast booth.
For sure, Terry, and our condolences to his family, his wife Elizabeth, and for Joe. May he rest in peace. Joe, as he mentioned, I've known him for a long time in the Dodger clubhouse, and for years and years became one of those guys that became more and more respected because he was so candid, so honest, and spoke the truth. And we recall some times we spent here with Joe doing shows not far from here, and the many things that Joe taught us both about broadcasting in the LA market, and certainly all the information he provided and the support. He rest in peace.
So a legendary radio sports talk show host passing away today, Joe McDonnell. And we can only send our deepest sympathies to his family. You know, the thing about it, and I mentioned Joe had been in failing health for a number of years, and you never heard him complain.
No.
There's a shot up the middle, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. So moving on to third base on the Solarte hit is Medica. And runners are at the corners, and the batter will be Jake Gobert. And it looks like Solarte's day is done. They're going to pinch run for him. Rico Noel is going to come in to pinch run for Solarte.
And it was Rico Noel that actually got to face Will Ferrell on the mound last night.
Yeah, when he was pitching for the Dodgers, and Noel ended up bunting a ball right back to Will Ferrell, and Ferrell made the stop and threw him out at first base. And then Don Mattingly, I guess, came out to take him out, and Will Ferrell said, "Hey, I just got a guy out. Why would you pull me now?" So here's the pitch, and this is Gobert batting, and the pitch misses for a ball. Here's the next delivery, and that one pitch that's cut on and missed. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Salas slated to be a big part and a big answer to the Angels' bullpen questions. Says much more accustomed now to the American League style of pitching and style of using the bullpens, which is way different, of course, than the National League.
Pickoff toss over to third base. Once you commit, you have to make that throw over there to third base, or they'll call a walk on you. That would have forced in the runner.
At one point, it looked like Salas was going to stop and turn.
Yeah, it did. Sure did.
And it is a play the Angels have been working on here in the mornings.
Salas appearing in his 3rd game this spring. Pinch runner breaks for a second. The ball's fouled off by Gobert.
This fastball. Deliver on the 91-93. He has a plus changeup, and now working on a cut fastball, which allows the plate to get a little bit bigger when he complements the cut fastball with his 2-seamer, and sometimes even his 4-seam fastball has life or tail.
There's a toss over to first. Diving back to the bag goes the pinch runner. Padres have 5 runs on 9 hits. The Angels have 2 runs on 5 hits. There goes the runner again at first. Ball popped in the air. Shallow left field. Long run in. It's going to drop foul as Krause was in pursuit from left. And going back on it was Grant Green. But luckily for the Angels, that one dropped foul. Just a few feet off the line. That ball wasn't caught.
There's a cut fastball getting in on the hands of Gobert. Long run for Krause as he was skated over towards left center field. A long run also for Grant Green as he was playing even with the bag.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
Now Salas has a chance to spread the plate out off speed or spread the plate out with 2-seam fastball.
There's a pickoff toss over to first. Diving back to the bag goes the base runner Noel.
Another player, Terry, on the mound like Salas, much like Albert Pujols and David Freese, just are so thankful for a guy named Tony La Russa, the St. Louis organization.
Here's the next delivery. That one is cut on and missed for the strikeout. The runner breaks for second and beats the throw. So Noel ends up stealing second. The lead runner at third, Medica, was holding. He didn't break for the plate. So Gobert is a strikeout victim. That's the first out with runners at second and third.
Padres are off and running. This time, here we go. Good job by Salas. 2-seamer fastball. Home plate made it way bigger. Right after the cut fastball. That's good pitching.
That's their first stolen base today. They've had a couple thrown out on the bases. Dickerson stepping up. Left-handed batter. He's driven in a pair of their runs. Infield in the pitch. Popped in the air. Very shallow left field. Doesn't appear to be deep enough to get the runner home. Krause will make the catch. The runner bluffs at third and heads back to the bag on the flyout. So 2 are gone. Good job by Salas. And Spangenberg will be the next batter.
We were talking about Salas's issues last year when he inherited runners. It was quite a problem. When he started innings, it was a much different pitcher. It was definitely much better once he came back from the minor leagues and got readjusted to what use he needed under the Angels bullpen. And hitters told me his fastball lives higher than it looks. It's not just the 91, 93 normal one. It does have a lot of life. Gets up on you.
Spangenberg at the plate takes ball 1. He has his name spelled on the back of his jersey, and there are a lot of letters there. Kind of fills up the back of that jersey. 11 letters in his last name. Kind of like when Troy Tulowitzki steps up. There's a lot of letters on the back of his jersey as well.
Got to have that curvature around the back.
Spangenberg. Corey Spangenberg. Next pitch. He was jammed. Pops it foul over on the left side. It'll reach Grant Green. We're in the 6th inning. It's a 5-2 San Diego lead. They're threatening with 2 outs. Salas would love to get out of this inning here, retiring Spangenberg. Angels in the bottom of the 6th have Crone and then the new catcher Carlos Perez. So far, Rutledge schedule.
So far, so good for Salas and the cutter getting in on lefties.
Next delivery, that one misses low. Salas is set. Has the sign, delivers, and a big cut and a miss at that one. That was a 3-1 pitch, so now it's a full count.
That's the life we're talking about. As hitters have informed me through the years. This ball just absolutely takes off up in the zone. I'll say just go out there and do it again. Throw your best.
Full count, and he tried to pick at that outside corner, and boy, didn't miss by much. That was a very close pitch to take with 2 strikes. It's ball 4, and now they have the bases loaded.
Sal is indicating there, not sure if he knew what the count was, but he was actually heading to the dugout. And as you mentioned, Terry, of course, a pretty good pitch and a very close pitch to take with 2 strikes and get away with it.
Here's Hedges, who has walked and flied out. He takes that one low and outside.
Oh, it's a tight zone right now. The trick gets him behind home plate.
This has been a 21-pitch inning here for Salas. He's not out of trouble. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. He can use some more swings and misses here. The count even. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Today's game being brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts and CarQuest. Great people, great products, great prices. Here's the 1-1. And it's fouled back up above us, backing out of play.
As we were informing about the tragic passing of our good friend and colleague Joe McDonald, Terry, I can tell you one thing about the respect he commanded from players. So, and, you know, Mike Social, Mike Piazza, you know, Shaquille O'Neal, all these legendary figures throughout LA for the years looked forward to that presence in their locker room and clubhouse. And they could have been in the losing streak and the worst time, and he was there, and they were happy.
There's a low line drive that is trapped by Navarro in right field. 2 runs have scored on that one. Navarro did everything he could. He tried to sell it that he caught it before it hit, but it did bounce in front of him. And that 2-out RBI hit drives in a pair. And now the lead grows for San Diego. They're up 7-2.
Very risky play there by Efrain Navarro. And fortunately, he keeps it in front of him and does not allow that ball to get by and have another run score. And Salas pretty much finding out, just like Shoemaker did, these Padres, anytime you miss all over the plate, they've been selective enough, but they have been hitting the ball to every part of the field.
So they have runners at the corners now with 2 outs, and there's a cut and a miss. This is Brett Wallace batting. He's hitting for Maben.
One time, the starting first baseman for the Houston Astros, Brett Wallace.
Left-handed batter. And the next pitch on Wallace. That one is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. So the Angels, who yesterday came back from a 5-run deficit, are down by 5 again today. Here's the next pitch. Checks his swing, bounces it foul. And that one over by the Padres dugouts on this side.
Good late life on that fastball. As well as not able to hold it back.
Salas is set. 1-2 delivery. Grounded right to second. Handled there by Yarbrough. His throw will easily get Wallace. And that's how the inning went on a 4-3 ground out. So in the inning, 2 more runs for San Diego. They sent 7 to the plate. In the inning, they had 3 hits. Also a walk-in will leave a pair. We are headed to the bottom of the 6th inning at 7-2 San Diego on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Prime Ticket. Have a number of changes for San Diego. We'll get to those in just a moment. They do have a new pitcher on the mound. His name is Lionel Campos. And last season he was in 6 games for San Diego. No wins, no losses. ERA was 5.14. They also have Ramiro Pena now playing shortstop.
Likes a lot there, another former Yankee.
And at second base, former Angels farmhand Taylor Lindsay. And they have another different look in the outfield as well. Looks like they've replaced all 3 of the starting outfielders. So in left field is Abraham Almonte. In center field, Rico Noel stays in the game. And Reimer Liriano is now playing right. Here's a ground ball hit to Lindsay. And his throw will easily get to C.J. Cron for the first out. So one quick out here in the Angels' 6th. The batter will be Carlos Perez for the Angels, batting out of Ionetta's spot. He replaced him behind the plate. This is his first time up. Ionetta went 0 for 2. New first baseman in the game for the Padres. We saw him bat the top of the inning, and that is Brett Wallace. So it looks like we're pretty much caught up, Jose.
Are we?
Have to double check on the catcher. Pitch on its way, and that's in there for a called strike.
Oh, it's always good to see former Rangers take the field. Taylor Lindsay was actually here from Scottsdale. And he struggled last year after the trade, hitting only .219 in 41 games for El Paso in AAA. He's always been known as a very good minor league hitter. In fact, his minor league numbers for Lindsay now at second, .284. And a guy that we saw here many springs, Terry, and he's very impressive when he made contact.
Good hitter. Here's the pitch. That's drilled in the gap in left center field, and that's going to bounce all the way out to the wall. This will be extra bases for Perez, the catcher. He will easily post into second base, and he is there with a 1-out double against Campos.
It's pretty good sound off the bat of Carlos. There's been a lot of time in the backfield, a lot of defense and stress, but certainly always a great field where you can go out there and contribute with the bat.
So the Angels have a runner in scoring position here with 1 out. Josh Rutledge will be the next batter. Campos set, first pitch, a little low and away, misses for ball. Here's the next delivery. That's a called strike. Leading off second, Perez, and the next pitch chopped foul on the left side by Rutledge, who's had a 1-for-2 ball game. Campos is pitcher number 4 of the day for San Diego, and as far as his work this spring, this is his 3rd appearance. A couple of innings without giving up too much for San Diego. Here's the next delivery, and there's a swing and a miss. He polishes off Rutledge there, struck him out for the 2nd out.
Number 10, Grant.
One thing Campos has come in and done is attack the zone. And even though at times it seems like his breaking ball, time that some of the scouts have seen him, gets a little heavy, low rotation because he throws it too hard. Like that one, he sometimes can also get away with it.
Campos, a native of Venezuela.
Came up last year with the Padres, 6 games. He actually had 9 strikeouts in 7 innings.
First pitch in there for a called strike. And Green at the plate. He's had a 2-for-2 game. A couple of singles for the Angels.
Another pitcher in the line of pitchers that have had Tommy John surgery. Campos had it back in 2012. So he's freshly removed off of Tommy John surgery.
Looks like the Angels have gotten Mike Morin up in the bullpen. So he will likely be taking over when we get to the 7th inning, replacing Fernando Salas. Next pitch fouled off on the right side, backing out of play.
Well, we both had a chance to catch up with the Angels general manager Jerry DePoto, and Terry, it seems like things continue to go in the right direction for Garrett Richards.
Yeah, he's making progress. He's passed every test so far this spring. There's one waved at and missed, and Campos pretty impressive in the inning. A couple of strikeouts against both Rutledge and Green, and that will end things for the Angels here in the bottom of the 6th. Angels have been kind of quiet offensively today. No runs in the inning, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left on base. 7th inning is next as we move there. Padres up by 5. They lead the Angels 7-2 on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Prime Ticket. Fans, don't forget the annual Angels 5K and Fun Run presented by St. Joseph Hoag Health will take place on Saturday, April the 11th. That's less than a month away. Participants will run a course through Angel Stadium, receive a commemorative shirt, a 2015 5K medal, as well as a voucher to watch the Halos play later on that same night. For more information and to sign up, visit angels.com/5K. Proceeds from the event will benefit the Angels Baseball Foundation. And as we get ready to move to the top of the 7th inning, it's being brought to you by Roto-Rooter. Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter. Call 1-800-HIT-ROTO today. So Mike Morin will take over. Angels have made a lot of changes defensively. We'll pick those up for you in just a moment. And first pitch, that one a little bit outside. This is Abraham Almonte batting. And he is hitting out of Amarista's spot. First time up for Almonte. Next pitch, and he grounds one sharply over to Efren Navarro, who's now moved over to take over at first base. And he will stop that one and solo to the bag for the out. Good job by a very good fielder over there, Navarro. Let's pause for station identification on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Prime Ticket. Terry Smith, Jose Moden, our producer engineer Darren Chan with you here from Tempe, where right now it's all been San Diego. They have a comfortable lead. They're up 7-2 as they bat here in the 7th inning. Morin's pitch skied in the air into left field. Battling the sun a little bit out there is Krause, but he's under. He'll put it away, and that is the second out. With Morin on the hill, he is appearing in his 3rd game this spring. 2 scoreless innings of work. Called to the bullpen this inning. It's being brought to you by Farmer John. If you're tailgating under the Big A, watching the game at home, pick up Farmer John hot dogs and smoked dinner sausage to get that authentic stadium taste anytime. Visit farmerjohn.com for recipes that are sure to be a home run. So here is Ramiro Pena batting. This is his first time up. He's hitting out of Medica's spot, and a pitch, that one misses for a ball. Tommy Medica, who's their starting first baseman, went 2 for 3 tonight.
I had a chance to see Ramiro Pena when he first came up with the Yankees. Did a very good job out of that bench in 2009. Eventually moved on to the Atlanta Braves, where he was for the last 2 seasons. He's out of Monterrey, Mexico. The guy that you can afford to have move around the infield and give you pretty solid at bat from the left side.
Switch hitter signed a minor league deal with San Diego, trying to win a spot as a backup infielder for them. He swings at that one, fouls it off left side, backing out of play. Pena with the count 2-1, but he is a free swinger. He doesn't walk the whole lot. Morin is ready. Pitcher number 4 of the day delivers, and that's chopped foul over by the Angels coaching area just outside the dugout where the coaches sit and watch the action.
One thing that caught the Padres' eyes is the fact that Ramiro Pena, from the month of July on, and Buddy Black knows about this, he was a .340 hitter. Limited time, but still went out there, hit .340 second half of the season. Had a good finish for the Braves.
2-2 pitch, that's low. 3-2. So full count. We've seen Shoemaker today, Reynolds, Salas, and now Morin. Shoemaker gave up 5 runs on 6 hits in 4 innings. Salas a couple runs in 1 inning of work. Here's a fly ball lifted foul down the right side. That's going to push back to the crowd, out of play.
It's always captivating to me how a guy like Mike Morin can come out of nowhere and become the guy that led the Angels in games pitched last year out of that bullpen one. He only threw in 2 games in spring training last year, and before you know it, he's a go-to guy for Mike Scioscia and vying for that 7th inning here this season.
We saw Shoemaker do it as a starter, pretty much coming out of nowhere, and Morin doing it as a reliever last year.
Plus changeup, pretty good command, pretty firm fastball.
Payoff pitch, grounded by the mound, out behind second, diving stop by Stamets, who's playing short, makes a wide throw. He really didn't have much of a shot to get the batter Pena anyway. It's going to be an infield hit. 2-out single. Noel will be the next batter. Good stop, though, by Stamets. The Angels have changed things up defensively. I mentioned Navarro playing first base. Stamets is now the shortstop. Featherston is at third. Yarby Myers is now playing center. Robertson moved from center over to right. Navarro moved from right over to first. Here's Noel batting, and he swings from the left side, takes that one for a called strike.
In case you joined us late, the Angels also have now in camp their latest signee, just Cuban Roberto Baldoquin, made an appearance today in minor league camp. worked out, and he was actually here in the stands, and he wanted to watch big league baseball, and he got that wish here today. So Baldocchini is in camp.
Here's a little pop into shallow left field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Going the opposite way is Noel for a single. Pena moves up to second. Runners at first and second with 2 outs.
This Brass pretty impressed by the guy that was pretty much stuck in a hotel room in Haiti for about 8 days. Come out today and put on a nice display with the glove, the hands, the arm, and also the way he swung the bat. So Baldocchini is aboard, and you might see him appear once in a while here in one of the Major League games.
Cody Decker is going to bat. He's hitting out of Gobert's DH spot, and he takes a big cut at that one and misses it. Baldocchini was saying when he was finished his workouts, he wanted to come up to the Major League game to watch Mike Trout. Well, today wasn't the day to see that. It'll probably be tomorrow. We expect Trout to be back in the lineup for the Angels tomorrow. Here's the pitch. Cut and a miss by Decker. Been in the Padres organization for a number of years. 22nd round pick back in 2009. You can do some catching. You can play corner infield. Warren trying to get the final out. He retired the first 2, and then back-to-back 2-out singles.
Decker doing his best imitation of Paul Goldschmidt and Buster Posey. Been holding that batter with the right shoulder pointing down.
Here's the delivery, and he chops it foul over on the third base side. Padres have one of their coaches back in Southern California, and that's Glenn Hoffman. He's their regular third base coach. He had to go back for some knee surgery. So Jose Valentin, who is Valentin, normally their first base coach, he's coaching third today. There's a pitch that is tipped foul back behind the plate. And they have Morgan Burkhart, it looks like, coaching over at first base.
Jose Valentin, long career in the big leagues. And he actually is a Padre product as we came up through the ranks. Eventually played for multiple teams, and good baseball man right there. Titi, Terry, they call him. Titi Valentin. Out of Puerto Rico.
Counts 0-2 here on Decker. The next 2-strike pitch, low and in.
Yeah, much like Salas, Morin was on his way out of the mound and back to the dugout after delivering that pitch. And some of those corners will not be given by the home plate umpire, Trip Gibson, here this afternoon.
Here's the next delivery. That one is waved and missed. Fooled him off speed. Bread and butter for Morin. Struck him out. And the inning ends on a strikeout against the pinch hitter. In the inning, no runs, pair of hits, no errors, pair left on. 7th inning stretch time. Tempe Angels need some runs down right now. 7-2 on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Prime Ticket. Marcus Mateo is the new pitcher number 5 of the day for San Diego. And kind of look at him, and he has a little bit of that Fernando Rodney look to him. Has the cap kind of tilted a little bit like Rodney. Maybe a Rodney protege.
Yes, he is. And Marcus Mateo does have some Major League experience with the Chicago Cubs. Has not seen the big leagues since the 2011 season. He was out all 2012 and just recently established a new record in the Dominican Winter League for saves.
So he's ready, and his first pitch. That went on Mark Krause. He takes it for a strike.
Mateo's got a pretty good fastball, pretty live. He's back healthy and very outstanding. Good command of a cut fastball, too.
New catcher is Griff Erickson. And the new third baseman is Diego Goriz. And Brett Wallace over there at first base. And pitch on its way to Krause. That's a ball to count 2 balls and 1 strike.
Padres reliever last year had a 2.73 ERA. Starters 3.5. Outstanding arms all the way around.
There's a cut and a miss.
As Mateo tries to get in the mix, and we can hear the glove popping way up here.
Mentioned that Padres bullpen. They had the lowest bullpen ERA in the National League last year. Here's the next pitch. That's a low.
One thing they did, they got a lot of Ks. They struck out 481 batters in 487 innings pitched. And of course, Houston Street was part of that, but also a big part of that was Joaquin Benoit, who was dominant.
There's Krause lifting one the opposite way, slicing down the left side. It's a fair ball. It's going to bounce down in the left field corner. Almonte just getting to it, and Krause is on with his first hit of the day. He hasn't had very many at bats this spring. Krause is kind of an interesting guy because he has had Major League experience. He was in 67 games with the Astros last year, even though he hit 194. But he's had 3 hits, only 6 at bats this spring. Has a homer, driven in 3 runs.
Good job. Pretty patient at bat and pretty much letting somebody on the mound do all the work for him in terms of driving the baseball. Pretty good inside-out swing there.
Here's Yarbrough. He's played the whole game so far at second base. Third time up, 0 for 2. First pitch, and Mateo delivers that one low. 1 ball, no strikes. Bottom of the 7th inning is being brought to you by Rotolo Chevrolet in Fontana, the #1 Chevrolet dealer in California. Rotolo Chevrolet, pursuing excellence every day, so visit them at Rotolo.com. Here's the pitch. A little poke in the shallow center, and it's going to fall in for a hit. Krause will be waved home. Here's the throw to the plate. It's cut off, and Yarbrough has an RBI single. Angels get a little bit closer. It's now a 7-3 San Diego lead.
As we talk about leads at first base, well, what matters at second base is your secondary lead. And the more information you can get from your coach at third base, and the more you know about positioning, the better off you're going to be able to make his job easier than sending you home on plays like this with nobody out. But showing all the way around by Mike Krause on the at-bat, going the other way, and also reading this blooper. When nobody was around him with an outstanding secondary lead.
Daniel Robertson at the plate. He's been up once, reached on an error, scored a run, and takes that breaking pitch inside. Mateo is appearing in game number 4 this spring. He's worked 3 innings, giving up a total of 3 hits coming in and 1 run. Angels have already touched him for a pair of hits and a run here. Here's the next pitch, and checking is Robertson. That's in there for a strike. Mateo at one time was drafted away from the Padres by the Cubs as a Rule 5 draftee. It was back in spring training last year, and then he was returned to the Padres. Cubs decided not to hold on to it. There's a lazy fly ball lifted into right field. Reimer Liriano is there to make the grab on that one. Easy play. Robertson is set down. That's the first out here in the bottom of the 7th. 7-3 San Diego. Efrain Navarro still in there. He is set for his 4th at bat today. We'll check out the Jeep Out of Town scoreboards brought to you by the 2015 Jeep Cherokee. Advanced technology, safety, and capability for every road. Visit Jeep.com for more information. There goes the runner. Yarbrough pitches high, throw to second, and it is late. Stolen base.
Here's where you look beyond the box score and look at the score even, and got to consider just applying more pressure and taking advantage of a slow worker towards the plate. Plus, Terry, for young players like Yarbrough, showing the staff what he can do in terms of stealing a base and getting a jump.
Angels' 3rd steal today. 1 ball, no strikes to count on Navarro. Here's the next pitch, and that is taken for a strike. Cactus League action. Texas is blanking the Giants 3-0. It's in the bottom of the 8th. The Rangers announced that Yu Darvish will have Tommy John right elbow surgery. That'll be Tuesday, the surgery.
It was a matter of time.
Yeah, and so he will miss the entire upcoming season. That's a damaging blow for the Texas Rangers. Here's a fly ball lifted foul down the right side. Hit pretty well, but just a long strike.
Yeah, for the Rangers, for a team that was decimated by injuries last year, used 64 players in that roster in the big leagues. Not a good way to begin this spring.
Seattle laying it on Milwaukee today, 10-2. That's in the top of the 7th inning, and Dontrelle Willis, the D-Train, announced he will retire. He had gone to camp with Milwaukee. 2-time All-Star and former Rookie of the Year. Won 22 games in 2005. But
it's not the first time he's announced his retirement, though.
No. He was a very colorful figure early in his big league career. One of the brightest stars in the game for a couple of years.
In fact, not long ago, an Angels farmhand. It's in AAA for the Angels.
He was.
Dontrelle Willis. Yeah. He was supposed to pitch here the first game the Angels played back on March 5th.
That's right. The Cactus League opener this spring. And did not travel that day.
The Angels are making Mateo work. 21 pitches already. He has only recorded 1 out.
Navarro waiting patiently for the slow-working Mateo. Here's his pitch, and that one is high.
Mateo is pretty much a thrower. Everything's power. Everything's hard. And when he gets erratic, it's pretty ugly. You should go talk to Fernando Rodney about a changeup. And yes, that Fernando Rodney led the major leagues in saves last year with 48. Better than Kimbrough, better than Holland, better than Rosenthal.
And there's a pickoff toss that gets away, but backing up is Noel. So Yarbrough went diving back to second, unable to get back up and head to third base, even though that throw ended up going into the outfield.
And erratic follows Mateo also on this play here.
That was a bad throw. He was lucky that Yarbrough didn't advance to third base.
And Noel doing the right thing and anticipating that play and charging in.
So 2-2 the count. Angels down 7-3 here in the bottom of the 7th. Next pitch. That's outside.
We're talking about closers, Terry, in terms of save percentage. Last year, Rodney was at 94.1. Greg Holland was at 95.8. And talking about Kimbrough, who led the National League with 47 saves. He was at 92.2% in save percentage.
Here's the next pitch. Popped up. near home plate. The catcher Erickson flips off the mask. Still in the catcher's circle, makes the play behind home, and retired as Navarro. After all that, he pops out and foul ground. 2 outs. How about Houston Street, Jose? What was his save percentage last year? It had to be good.
Houston combined for 41 saves between the Angels and the Padres, and his save percentage was 93.2%.
Yeah, can't complain about that. Here's Kubica set to bat. This is his first time up.
Of course, automatically our next guy to ask is Aroldis Chapman, who saved 36 games, and his percentage was at 94.7. So whenever people think of, oh, somebody's an automatic, there's no such thing as an automatic when it comes down to a save. Yeah, some have to work harder than others, and it seems like for a guy like Fernando Rodney, they never come easy.
Yeah.
But he did lead the major leagues with 48.
Well, that's because Rodney very rarely has a clean inning. There's usually something that happens. He'll walk someone, or there will be a hit or an error. He's always working from the stretch with somebody on. Here's a ground ball. Nice stop by Brett Wallace, the first baseman. Flips to Mateo, and he took a hit, maybe an extra base hit away from Kubica. That was a nice play by Wallace at first base. So the inning ends on the 3-1 ground out. The Angels do get a run at 2 hits, no errors, and leave 1. So the 8th is next. It's 7-3 in favor of San Diego on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Prime Ticket. Pistano is the new pitcher for the Angels, and this appearance for Pistano is 3rd this spring. 1-0 record, 0 ERA, inning in 2/3 of hitless and scoreless relief. The top of the 8th, it's being brought to you by Chronic Tacos Mexican Grill, using 3rd-generation recipes packed with your favorite fresh ingredients. That's Chronic Tacos. For a location near you, just go to eatchronictacos.com and live the taco life. Taylor Lindsay, former Angel farmhand, at the plate, and the first pitch. That one pitch he takes for ball 1. It's 1 ball, no strikes.
I will never forget the first time we saw Taylor Lindsay come up and get some opportunities. He was at one point 7 for 9.
Yeah. There's another one that he takes, and that one misses ball 2. It's 2 balls, no strikes on Lindsay.
He was, of course, part of the trade that brought Houston Street to the Angels.
Former first-round pick of the Angels not too long ago, 2010. Pitch taken for a strike.
Angels also in that package included a young pitcher, last name Rondon, who's pretty special.
Jose Rondon, young infielder. Pitch on its way. That's a broken bat and a ball bounced foul on the first base side. Well, we have a sellout crowd today, Jose. So this is the biggest one so far this spring here at Tempe Diablo. 9,491. 94-91.
Wonderful.
Some have left as we've moved on in this ball game.
Hey, some have games to go to and to play.
That's right.
A lot of those young teams. Vinny Pistano, that was a serious sawed-off job right there. He's got some deception. He's got some giddy-up. Very good breaking ball that he can wrap around the plate on both sides.
Pitch foul back behind the plate. So it's still 2-2. Remember when Taylor Lindsay was coming up in the Angels organization, people were making the Adam Kennedy comparison. Next delivery, and he takes that one for a ball.
I do recall that one thing with Lindsay is he's still a work in progress on the defensive side.
Here's the pitch. He lifts that one in the air into right field. It's hanging up for Robertson, who's out there. He'll make the catch medium right, and that's the first out here in the eighth.
Vinny Pistano, one of the many names that provide the Angels a lot of depth here in the bullpen. Also in the mix, of course, is Matt Lindstrom.
Batter now stepping up is Diego Goris. This is his first time up. He took over at third base for Spangenberg. First pitch, a strike on him.
A longtime Angel, Kevin Jepson, has also moved on from here back to Tampa Bay. He gets reunited with his former teammate Ernesto Frieri.
Yeah. And the pitch chopped on the left side. That one's deep in the hole. Long throw by Stamets. And he's a good fielder. That throw right on the money. And he gets Scarice for the out. 6-3 on the ground out.
Well, you're a good fielder for many reasons. Of course, you got to have the ability to have good hands, but also you never panic. Made this play from beyond the cut of the grass in short left field look pretty easy.
Batter is Griff Erickson. He took over behind the plate for Hedges. This is Erickson's first at bat. And he goes after that one, swinging from the left side, fouls it back behind the plate.
Vinny Pistano, like Joe Smith, Angels sidearm rules. And of course, former teammates themselves in Cleveland. Just the fact that he has deception by throwing from where he throws, real low. He has velocity more than Joe Smith. He's got the breaking ball, got good command, but Vinny Pistano, now that he is fully healthy, just does not miss a whole lot over the middle of the plate. Show the Angels that his arm was back when they got him last season.
This with that pitch on the 0-2, it's 1-2. Here comes the next delivery, and that froze him. It hit the outside corner. That was a good-looking pitch. Struck him out looking.
That's a wrap right there.
Erickson is out, and so are the Padres here in the eighth. They go down 1-2-3. Bottom of the eighth is coming up. Angels down by 4 at 7-3 San Diego on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Prime Ticket.
You want
Angels down 7-3. We go to the bottom of the 8th, and it's being brought to you by Rotolo Chevrolet in Fontana, the #1 Chevrolet dealer in California. Rotolo Chevrolet is pursuing excellence every day, so visit them at rotolo.com. Mateo stays in his second inning of relief for San Diego, and his first pitch on Featherston, he takes it for a strike, 0-1. Angels had a couple of hits and a run against the reliever last inning. This is Featherston's first at bat today. He's hitting out a thrown spot, and he cuts it that one, fouls it off on the right side out of play.
Well, additionally, not any longer with the Padres organization. Catcher Yasmani Grandal, who went to the Dodgers. Also outfielder Seth Smith and catcher Rene Rivera in this overhaul for the Pods.
There's a pitch that's low. Another guy who had a lot of playing time for them, no longer with them, is Everett Cabrera.
Who finally got a contract to play second base.
Right.
The Baltimore Orioles. He was in the market for a long time and could only get a 1-year contract.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count, and the next one on Featherston, he checks in. That's a little bit outside.
Pretty interesting, Terry, on both cases with, as you mentioned, Everett Cabrera, dynamic base runner, has had some issues off the field with the other things, including performance-enhancing drugs, but he's playing second base. So is Yunel Escobar. He's been a long-time shortstop in the big leagues who has to make the transition to second base with the Washington Nationals.
There's a shallow bloop in the center field. Noel tried to make a diving catch. It hit off the front part of his glove, and ball ricocheted away. It was a good effort by him, though. But at second base is Featherston, and he has a leadoff double.
He's done a lot of things right. Of course, to do a lot of things wrong, a lot of times he needs some help. Gets a little help here.
Noel, I mentioned, trying to make that diving catch in right center, the center fielder. And in diving forward and a little bit to his right, trying to nab that one, the ball actually hit off the back part of his glove, the heel of the glove, and that's why he couldn't squeeze it shut. And ricocheted right off the heel of the glove.
That makes Featherston now 5 for 13 this spring.
Was it called strike on Carlos Perez? Well, Mike Scioscia was talking to you about Featherston the other day after the game, saying how he was so impressed by his athletic ability.
No doubt. And the fact that he's getting more repetitions on the left side of the infield told me a lot about the fact that he's got a very good chance of sticking around.
Here's a pop-up on the right side. The second baseman, Taylor Lindsay, goes back to the outfield grass end. He'll put that one away, so Carlos Perez an easy out. Featherston has to hold that second.
And Terry, also the so-called, let's say, luxury of being a Rule 5 guy. There's no rush to expose you to your former club and offer you back. You take all the time you want, and then you decide whose roster spot you got to sacrifice to keep a Rule 5.
Eric Stamets is the batter. This is his first time up, right-handed hitter. First delivery, high and away, misses for ball 1. Stamets, he's been up twice this spring, and he has 2 hits. Triple and a single. Kind of known at this stage of his career a little bit more for the glove than the bat, but
yeah, they feel like his bat should develop. And they've been waiting for that.
And there he lines another ball right up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. Stopping at third will be Featherston. And Stamets gets another hit. Runners at the corners, 1 out. Angels trying to mount something here.
Well, hopefully Stamets will bring some of the knowledge and all the things he's been watching guys do at big league camp, and instructions from Don Baylor, his hitting coach, Dave Hansen, assistant hitting coach, Paul Sorrento, roving around the organization, and take that into a better hitter to the minor leagues and get his game rounded up.
So they're going to meet here with Mateo, and they're going to take him out. So his day is done. He'll be lifted with runners at the corners, 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Pitching change coming up on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Prime Ticket. New pitcher is Scott Elbert. Batting for the Angels is Sherman Johnson. And the first pitch, that went from the left-hander, misses. 1 ball, no strikes. A lefty-lefty matchup. As Johnson digs in for the Angels. We have seen him bat 4 times this spring with 1 hit. Here's the pitch. And takes that one inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Elbert in relief of Mateo, who went an inning and a third, giving up 4 hits right now. Run earned, the 2 runners on base his property. Didn't Walker strike out anyone. Runner at first goes, throw to second, and it's late. Stolen base. Stamets with the steal, holding on at third, Featherston. And now the Angels have a pair in scoring position.
And before you know it, 1 swing away from really getting into this ballgame here with these young players aggressively doing a good job running the bases.
Counts 3-0. Padres have a 7-3 lead. We're in the bottom of the 8th. 1 out. Runners at second and third. Pitch. And that's a called strike. 3-1 to count. Elbert is pitcher number 6 of the day for San Diego. Here's his next delivery. And a good cut at that one. Fouling it back is Johnson. So he's battling.
That was a pretty nice swing. Pretty impressive young man, this guy here. His instructors, his manager, general manager, happy with the way this kid Johnson stays on the ball. It's one of those guys, Terry, once again, seems like every time we see him come to hit, there's a lefty on the mound.
Elbert, former Dodger on the hill, delivers, and there's a swing and a miss, and he got him there with a breaking ball. Struck him out.
Hold him.
That's a big out.
Experience gives eager young hitter.
Elbert signing a minor league deal with the Padres after last season. Was in 7 games for the Dodgers last year. He's had a share of injury issues. Tommy John elbow surgery in the past. Here's the pitch, and that one is high and away. Johnny Giavotella is the batter. This is his first time up today. Votella so far has had a pretty good spring for the Angels. Hitting 300, 3 for 10. It could mean a pair. Runs the pitch, and he pops this one up. Foul ground, first base side. It's hanging up. The catcher and first baseman go over, and it's the catcher Griff Erickson who makes the grab across from the Angels dugout, and that is going to end the inning. So Elbert comes in and strikes out Johnson and gets Giavotella on the foul pop, and the Angels fail to score. Here in the inning, no runs, couple hits, no errors, and a pair left. Ninth inning is next, 7-3. changes for the Angels, including a new battery as we get ready to move to the top of the 9th inning. Padres are up 7-3. The new pitcher for the Angels is Edgar Ibarra. Seen him a little bit this spring. His battery mate, new catcher Stephen McGee. Alfredo Marte has come in to play right field. Sherman Johnson stays in the game, and he now takes over at left. The call to the bullpen here in the 9th. It's brought to you by Farmer John. If you're tailgating under the Big A, watching the game at home, pick up Farmer John hot dogs, smoked dinner sausage to get that authentic stadium taste anytime. Visit farmerjohn.com for recipes that are sure to be a home run. Brett Wallace is the batter. It's a lefty-lefty matchup. And the first pitch of ball, it's 1 ball, no strikes. Wallace has been up once today with a ground out, and he takes that one for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Ibarra, in one appearance, really struggled this spring. Here's the delivery. That's low and outside.
So the young man gets a chance to redeem himself here. Keep the game where it is, and all the youngsters alongside him to maybe give it a charge here in the bottom of the 9th.
He retired only one of the 6 batters that he faced in his first appearance this spring. Gave up 3 hits, walked a couple.
So he had that look, huh? Remember that?
Yep.
The road game at Mesa against the A's.
3-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. Grounded on the first base side. It's right at Navarro, and he will solo it to the bag for the out. Wallace retired. Unassisted put out. 1 gone here in the 9th. Top of the 9th inning. It's being brought to you by Rotolo Chevrolet in Fontana. The #1 Chevrolet dealer in California. Rotolo Chevrolet, pursuing excellence every day. So visit them at Rotolo.com. Abraham Almonte will be the next batter. Angels will have one more shot when we get to the bottom of the 9th. And the pitch lined into left field. The new left fielder is Sherman Johnson. Will make a nice running catch to his left. Nabbed that one in left center on the liner. That's the second out.
Good contact and even a better read out there in left field.
So Ibarra having a little bit more success this go around. Native of Venezuela, Edgar Ibarra. He was in the Twins organization last year, and in AA and AAA last year went 7-1 in 40 games in relief. 4.22 ERA. Angels signed him, a minor league free agent. It's a guy who, since he turned pro in 2006, so he's been pitching for a while. He has always had some command issues, so that's part of his game that he needs to straighten out. He's behind here 1-0 on Reimer Liriano, one of the better young players in the Padres organization, who spent some time in the big leagues as well. He was in 38 games last year for San Diego. Liriano, a guy that the Padres think he possesses a lot of tools. Some people feel even maybe a 5-tool player, but he's had some elbow issues in the past. Outfielder, he had Tommy John surgery, but a good-looking prospect.
Well, the infamous Tommy John surgery that just doesn't affect pitchers.
Oh. Here's the 2-1. He chops at that one and fouls it off. Angels are down 7-3. We're in the 9th inning, top of the 9th. Score update brought to you by Experian. Get your credit swagger on at Experian.com. Two outs, no one on. Next delivery. Lifted in the air into right center field. Myers out there, and the catch is made by Marte, who's coming over as well, and that will end the inning. So 1-2-3 inning. Good job. The second time he's been on the hill for the Angels for Edgar Ibarra. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left. We'll see if the Angels have a few tricks up their sleeve as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Right now, 7-3 Padres on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Prime Ticket. Alex Yarbrough has played the whole game at second base is the batter, and the count on him, 2 balls and no strikes as we start the bottom of the ninth. The delivery, that one is a little bit high. 2-1 to count. Scott Elbert is still pitching. He came in, got the final 2 outs for the Padres last inning. Yarbrough digging in, and the 3-0 delivery, and that is outside. He walks on 4 pitches. So a good start for the Angels here in the bottom of the ninth. Let's pause for station identification on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Prime Ticket.
Number 33, Daniel Robertson.
Terry Smith, Jose Mota, our producer-engineer is Darren Chan. Great to be with you on this Friday afternoon here from Tempe Diablo Stadium. Jose is headed down to visit with Angels manager Mike Scioscia after the ball game, and the pitch is taken for a strike by Robertson, who has batted twice today. He's 0 for 2 since coming in. No balls, 1 strike. Padres have action in their bullpen. They have a right-hander up. Here's the next pitch, and that's in there for a called strike. It's like Jackson Williams is in the on-deck circle for the Angels. He would be pinch hitting for Navarro, left-handed batter, and Navarro, that is, and the lefty on the mound, Elbert, whose pitch is way outside here on Robertson. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Angels need base runners and need runs. Have 3 outs to play with here. Bottom of the ninth, down by 4, and the pitch, that's low. So it's 2-2. Tomorrow the Angels will have 2 games, 1 here and 1 on the road. The Angels will have another squad go to Surprise to take on Kansas City. The game here, and we'll have the broadcast of that game, will be the Angels White Sox. It'll be Andrew Heaney against veteran Brad Penny, who's trying to make the White Sox as a free agent. Fly ball lifted into right. Routine play out there for Reimer Liriano, and he will easily retire Robertson. So that's the first out in the bottom of the ninth. Yarbrough has to hold at first base. And it will be Jackson Williams to pinch hit for Efrain Navarro. Navarro had gone all the way up until this point and went 0 for 4 at the plate with a run batted in. Saw Navarro play a little outfield and first base today. Williams, the pinch hitter, is a catcher, and he has seen limited action this spring. The pitch, that's a low. 1 ball, no strikes. Williams has had 1 at bat so far this spring and is 0 for 1. Next delivery, that's low and inside. Jackson Williams, a little bit of time with the Rockies last year, only 7 games. Former first-round pick of the Giants. Angels got him off the waiver wire this offseason from Colorado. Pretty good catch and throw guy, and mentioned before, college teammate of Garrett Richards at the University of Oklahoma. Next pitch, a little bit inside. So Elbert has fallen behind 3-0. Scott Elbert was in the Dodgers organization going all the way back to 2004. The pitch, and that's a strike on the outside corner, and he was a free agent at the end of this year, and the Padres signed him. A long-time member of the Dodgers organization, saw time with the Dodgers in the 08 season. That's when he made his major league debut. 09, 2010, 2011, 2012, and briefly last year, 2014. Pitch grounded to second, might be 2. Flip to second, the relay to first. It is a double play, and that's how this ball game will end. Taylor-made double play ball hit to Taylor Lindsay, and they turn the 4-6-3 twin killing on Williams, and that'll do it for the Angels today. here in Tempe. In the bottom of the ninth, no runs or hits, walk, no errors, and nobody left. So the Angels fall to the Padres 7-3 this afternoon. Angels now 4-5 this spring, and the Padres go to 5-5 with a victory here today in Tempe. San Diego, 7 runs. They had 12 hits, a couple of errors, and it looks like they left 5 on base. The Angels had 3 runs. Angels had 10 hits, no errors, and the Angels will leave 8. We are going to head down to Jose Mota in just a moment. We'll be joined by Angels manager Mike Scioscia. Before we do that, Mike wants to see some old friends with the Padres, and that's understandable. Of course, he and Buddy Black are very good friends right now. Mike is not talking to Buddy Black, but one of the coaches that's here for San Diego. And we'll hear from Mike Scioscia in just a moment as Jose will join him. Angels didn't have a whole lot of offense today. 10 hits, but the Angels ended up scoring 2 of their 3 runs in innings where they didn't even have a hit. When the Angels were able to get some things going offensively, for the most part, unable to bring people in. So Halos fall today by the final of 7-3. Let's go down to Jose Mota and Angels manager Mike Scioscia.
Thank you, Terry. Mike, when you look at Matt Shoemaker and the fact that he's a guy that cannot afford to miss spots, how do you grade an outing like this?
Well, I think it's a good workout for him. He got to his pitch count, but just like any time of the year with Matt, if he's going to miss spots, and today he was up with his fastball a little bit, didn't really have good angle, getting it down, didn't command counts well. That's when he's going to have trouble in some games. We didn't see very many of them last year. It's early yet in the spring. He'll find it.
Tell me about the comfort level you see now. We saw very expressive Chris Iannetta at times trying to stress some things and making it work. It seems to pay off once in a while. How do you like the communication going on?
Well, we're getting better at it. I think there's a lot on Chris's plate, a lot on Drew Butera, Carlos Perez, Jet Banjo, all the guys that have been in the mix to catch. A lot on their plate to try to get together with a pitching staff. We're trying to integrate some new catchers that are young. But Chris, I think, as he's grown, he's been with us a couple of years. He understands what he needs to do, and he's really good at that.
On a day like today, you see a lot of guys and provide some depth for you. You get close look at some guys that you don't know a lot about. But how do you go planning out with the regular players a day like today, and what are you trying to get out of them combined with the guys that got to play?
Well, there's a little template, little schedule for most of our regulars that will adjust from if they need an extra day or they need more work. Right now it's 2 on and 1 off, and this is what these guys feel pretty good with, and it gives us a chance to get some of the guys that are looking for spots on our roster to get them some playing time and evaluate them.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, Jose. Thank you.
Terry, let's go back to you, my friend.
All right, thanks, Jose. Again, the final score today from Tempe Diablo Stadium, the Padres over the Angels 7-3. For those of you watching on TV, Jose Mota will be joined by Darren Sutton. They'll have a lot more post-game analysis. And on the radio side, we'll have a few more things for you as well here from Tempe Diablo Stadium. Angels drop at 7-3. This is the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Prime Ticket.